Too often, we see the natural world as a stage on which the more important drama of human history is played out. Instead, we need to begin to see that the creation is an active part in the work of God, and is itself an object of God's divine intervention and involvement. That means you and I, not only as human beings, but especially as people of faith, have particular responsibilities for the care of all that God has created. We could spend the rest of the day talking about all of those responsibilities, but let me lump them into three broad categories. We'll call them connect, commit, and create. First, we have to connect with the issues of caring for the environment. That means we have to get past the fog of name-calling and fear and accusation that passes off as our national discussion. And we really need to associate ourselves with the issue. We need to educate ourselves on what is true and what is not. We need to gather as much reliable information as we can. We need to read books and attend classes and listen to lectures, whatever it takes to ground ourselves in the issues of caring for the environment. Friends, as God's people, we can no longer pretend that if we just ignore what's going on around us, it's going to go away. We have to connect with the issues surrounding the environment. Then second, we have to commit. Based on what we learn, we need to commit to making changes in our own habits and practices and advocating for responsible changes in our community, nation, and world. We must commit to authentic stewardship of creation that seeks to protect what has been sullied by our past mismanagement of creation and seeks to restore that which has already been harmed. When God created humankind and gave us the responsibility for the creation, we became partners with God. And lately, we haven't been living up to our end of the partnership. And that means as a congregation of God's people, we must commit to new practices that are more friendly to the environment than we have pursued in the past. Finally, we have to create. As God's people, as a matter of our own discipleship, we must encourage the creation of new and friendlier forms of energy. We must encourage the creation of new technologies that will help restore the creation to health and well-being. We must demand of our leaders new inventions, new policies, and where necessary, new laws to protect this fragile, beautiful world that God has made. And as Tom Friedman points out in his book, Hot, Flat, and Crowded, it is not enough to change our light bulbs. We may have to change our leaders. A public servant who is not committed to curing our environment and curbing our national addiction to fossil fuels is no public servant at all. I have to believe that a nation that can go from no realistic space program to putting a human being on the moon and bringing them safely home again in a decade has it within its power to create new, safe, and affordable sources of energy that will befriend the environment. The good news of our Christian responsibility is that it's totally achievable. We can do this. We can be the people that God created us to be in, and we can live in a world in which God intended for us to live. We can see a world as verdant and life-giving and life-sustaining as the pastoral image of the world of Psalm 23. We can live in a world where children don't get childhood cancer because of the air they breathe, or develop lead poisoning because of the ground on which they play. We can live in a world where water is safe to drink. We can live in a world where all the creatures of God not only survive, but thrive and never experience the threat of endangerment again. If all people of faith, of every faith, connected to the issues, committed to the cause, and demanded new creation from themselves and their leaders, National used to sing, "What a wonderful world it would be." Can we do this? Of course we can. Will we do it? Well, there's the question begging an answer. Will we meet the challenges of our God-given responsibilities? That's a discipleship question. And it is up to each and every disciple to answer that question for herself or himself. This amazing, beautiful, wonderful world is dearly loved by God. Will God's people love it and care for it as well? Our answer is more than important. It is a matter of life and death. How we answer our Christian responsibility to the environment matters more than we truly know. And it makes all the difference.